We start this week's show on a somber note after the passing of Penn State and Steelers legend Franco Harris. He died just a few days before this weekend's celebration of the Immaculate Reception, which was voted the #1 play in NFL history. His impact reaches far beyond the football field. We were honored to have Franco as our interview guest in last week's show as the excitement built towards the anniversary celebration. He was 72 years old. Franco often talked about what his time at Penn State meant to him, and he was extremely close with the Paterno family. Here's Jay Paterno and Tom Bradley with their reaction to his passing.
I think the important thing to know about Franco Harris is, to fortunate people, you get a moment in life where it shines. And Franco certainly had that moment with the Immaculate Reception, but it's not the moment itself, it's what you do with that moment. And Franco Harris's entire life from that moment on, he used that moment to serve others, to help people in his community, whether it be Special Olympics or food banks, or helping with food insecurity at Penn State University. Even to the day he died, he was involved. And I think that's what speaks the most to me about what the kind of life Franco was, the kind of man he was. And every once in a while, you're fortunate enough to meet someone you admire as a kid, and then to meet someone like Franco and not only realize he was as good as you thought he was, but that he's even better as a person. And that to me will be the legacy of what I remember about Franco Harris.
Words are always pale at a time like this, but heaven just got a Hall of Fame father, husband, and friend to so many. Go in peace, Franco, to heaven, a place you will call home.
We continue with the rest of this week's episode of Nittany Game Week. The majority of the program was recorded on Tuesday before Franco passed away, and we continue to remember and mourn the loss of an all-time Nittany Lions great. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nittany Game Week. I'm Todd Sadowski, along with our coaches Jay Paterno and Tom Bradley. Coach Paterno disguised as Santa Claus.
Ho, ho, ho.
Thank you. First and foremost, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Hope you have a wonderful holiday season with family and friends. On the football side of things, the Nittany Lions coaching staff reels in a recruiting class earlier in the week, finds time to enjoy their holidays, all while they keep some focus on the upcoming Rose Bowl. It sounds like a chaotic few days this week leading up to Christmas.
Well, when you look at it, you got that. They need to move the signing day back to February where it was, so you could focus in on this team academically, the bowl game, all those kind of things, sort out your transfer portal, and then sign your class. So I think they got to change the schedule a little bit, but I mean, it is crazy.
And not only that, the practices are unique too, because you're trying to get some of the young guys work, right? You still want to keep your team sharp, because if you don't, you're going to lose that little edge as you get closer to really getting to game week. There's a lot of things going on, just not related to football.
If you think it's chaotic now, wait till we add the 12-team playoff and you're playing a game last weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. The things to do list almost as long as Santa's list. The Nittany Lions all in on the trip to Pasadena. Fifth-year guy says no thanks to a 6 campaign and a healthy respect for their opponent in our opening drive. Okay, not easy to keep everyone together after the regular season, finals, holidays, bowl media days, bring everyone back together. How do you guys view it? Necessary evil or an opportunity to talk about your regular season success?
Necessary evil.
Short and to the point.
Exactly.
You got enough other stuff going on.
Media stuff, necessary evil.
You don't need to worry about us.
The same thing. It's evil.
All right, you guys are no fun. All right, almost the entire roster
Hey, we're
will
part
take
of the problem.
You asked the question.
You gave me a good answer. Almost the entire roster will take the field in Pasadena. The seniors understand for them it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
I'm here with this team. I feel like that's the most important thing to me right now. Everything else comes afterwards. So I feel like for me, it's being here with this team, grinding each and every day like it's my last. So, I feel like for me, playing in this bowl game is really important.
Just one of them opportunities that you can't pass up, and one of them opportunities that you work for. There's no point of you working hard if you don't want to be in one of these opportunities. But at the end of the day, I think as a team we understand that the NFL is a business. You have to do what's best for yourself. The love remains the same no matter if you opt out or if you play. And that's, this year and that's in the past. I love my brothers regardless. But for me personally and for this team, the guys that are playing the Rose Bowl, we're ready to go.
Coach Franklin praised the captains for their leadership all season and on issues like opting out of the bowl game. Another example how the Rose Bowl is special.
Well, there's no question about it. But don't forget, many of the upperclassmen, they got an extra year of eligibility if they want it because of COVID, because of that season. So, it brings up some interesting decisions for a guy like Nick Tarburton. But he's ready to go.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to do what's best for them. And I think as a team, you understand that.
Yeah, no doubt about him. Like you said, 5 years. He's eligible for his 6th year. He's saying, I'm going to test out the NFL waters, but he will be playing in the Rose Bowl. So having a 6 year of eligibility used to be a rare occurrence. Still in that cycle where plenty of guys are taking advantage of the extra season. Tarburton at this point is not one of them. Once again, Utah will field almost the entire roster for the Rose Bowl. The back-to-back Pac-12 champs have the attention of Coach Franklin, and he talked about his respect for his opposing head coach on the other sideline, Kyle Whittingham.
Done a great job. You watch him. I think if you're a true football guy, when you watch him, that's what a team is supposed to look like, in my opinion. Offense, defense, special teams, complementary football. They are a tough football team. They're a physical football team. They know how to win games in a lot of different ways.
Well, what's not to like about Coach Whittingham's success after taking over for Urban Meyer over a decade ago? He'll have the Utes fully prepared for PSU and Pasadena. Let's go to the scrap metal. Like a high-quality running back, we have a good change of direction, Tom. You're going with an administrator for the scrap metal. Tough to win if you don't have the backing of your AD. You're giving the scrap metal to the new guy in charge of the athletic department.
Yeah, for the first time, we have a non-player winning the award. Okay, he didn't even play at Penn State, for goodness sakes. But Dr. Pat Kraft got hired in the spring and has already hit the ground running, meeting with coaches, student athletes, and alumni and friends of Penn State. He's been a visible presence this fall at football, volleyball, basketball, wrestling, as well as ice hockey, soccer, and the women's field hockey team in their run to the Big Ten title and Final Four appearance. To hear the people inside Penn State, the athletic department, talk about it, he created a new spark of enthusiasm as Penn State looks to undertake the challenges of a new and constantly changing era of college athletics. I'm just not sure what this trophy, we got to get a trophy, an actual trophy.
Physically handle the scrap metal.
I think this is what gives us an advantage. We're Penn State. We're so big and powerful, and our alums are so engaged. It's harnessing that to help us on the recruiting front.
And during his press conference for Rose Bowl Media Day, Dr. Kraft reiterated his commitment to help drive efforts for Penn State's collective success with honor to set up all 31 PSU sports for success. A former walk-on linebacker at Indiana, he's been known to get very animated on the sidelines. Still to come, our scouting report. The Rose Bowl, a little more than a week away. Our coaches gather as much information as they can about the opponent, how to navigate prep work around the holidays when Nittany Game Week returns.
Scrap Metal is sponsored by the We Are In, voted #1 game day restaurant in Center County. Follow us on Facebook and visit thewearein.com or call for dinner or room reservations.
And we're back on Nittany Game Week. As we mentioned earlier in the show, huge amount of focus for the coaching staff has been on recruiting to land the best possible class for 2023. With the first signing day in the rearview mirror, it's time to enjoy your holiday with family and friends and revisit the game plan for Utah in the Rose Bowl. Coach Paterno, Coach Bradley, now just over 1 week away from kickoff in Pasadena. A lot of eyeballs will be on the game. You have some other kinds of stats you want to share with us first.
Well, just like Coach Tony used to tell us, you don't want to be ready too early. So the real heavy scouting report is going to come next week, but we've got some stuff. But first, let's talk playoffs. The Pride Pick playoffs, we have 4 finalists. The first round is now in the books, and we have our 4 finalists. Here's number 1, finalist number 2, finalist number 3, finalist number 4. The voting starts this weekend at NittanyGameWeek.com and concludes at noon on January 2nd, with the winner being announced on the show the weekend of January 7th. The voting was heavy, intense, resulted in 3 division winners and a wild card. And we got votes from 25 different countries on 6 continents. And then we went and said, let's see where else we've gotten people watching the show online. and we are at 65 countries on 6 continents beyond our 11-station network. So a lot of people, to all those people around the world watching in all 50 states, happy holidays to you. Now, let's get into some football. Let's turn to how we gauge the relative strength of teams from 2 different conferences without common opponents. You look at the average national ranks of the teams that they have played, and when you look at Utah has played better teams by and large in the Power 5 games. So as you prepare, you look for things that other teams have done to your opponent that are similar. So for Utah, Tom, you know, Michigan, they're running some of the same stuff Michigan does.
Yeah, what's going to happen is Utah's going to look at a lot of Michigan offensive film and see how they attack the Nittany Lions.
Yeah, a lot of inside zone, north-south, try and neutralize the speed. Take a look at how that worked for Michigan. And again, Michigan had a big day run the ball against Penn State. And hopefully, you know, you see a little bit more physical play out of Penn State in this one, a little bit more aggressiveness up front. Now, same thing, who did a good job against Utah's run defense, which is very good? UCLA. Here's a set that's very similar to what we talked about with Penn State, with these 2 guys in the backfield and another back here. And look how many guys, Tom, they got in the box there.
It's loaded up in the box, so good time to throw the ball. These are 2 tight ends sitting back there.
Yep, and you play action and you see how effective it is. All 8 of those guys are looking in the backfield, looking at run. You get a guy down the sideline, and he makes some things happen. Now, let's flip it over to the other side now. When you are Utah, you're looking at what did some people do against Penn State on 3rd downs. Against the best, Ohio State being the best passing team that Penn State played. Penn State was aggressive up front and then dropped outside. But with the guys off, they were able to take advantage of that, Tom.
Yeah, that's going to be straight man coverage with them just zeroing in with, back your way.
And take a look at and converted 3rd downs. Now look at Utah on the flip side. If you're Penn State, you're looking at what they do against a really good passing team in USC. Really aggressive, but they are aggressive in the back end as well, breaking up the plays. Take a look at this on video. And USC was just 1 of 12 on 3rd downs against Utah and beat a Heisman Trophy winner twice in the same season.
I don't think that's ever happened.
Thanks for the scouting report, guys. And we continue to honor the memory of legendary Penn State running back Franco Harris. The National Football League's Christmas Eve primetime game is all set up to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the play voted #1 in league history, the Immaculate Reception. We were fortunate to have a wonderful conversation with Franco as our Impact interview guest in last week's show. And he talked about why the play is so iconic half a century later.
When you have plays that make that moment, it just keeps that spark burning in people and like that spark alive, that it doesn't matter if you still have time on that clock, you can make things happen.
You can see that entire Impact interview with Franco Harris at our website, NittanyGameWeek.com. For a half century after the Immaculate Reception, Franco Harris used the play to encourage others. Our condolences go out to his family and friends. We've had the good fortune to spend some time with Franco on the Happy Valley cruise. The captain of the voyage is his good friend Sue Paterno. And Jay's mom released a statement that reads in part, "For many, he was a man of miracles. The man showed up at the right time to lift a franchise and a city to greatness in one incredible play. But his life was about so much more than the game. What he did with that moment was even more inspiring. He poured himself forth to a life of service to others. He was an example of integrity, selflessness, and loyalty." Up next, our Impact interview with one of the most destructive linebackers in Nittany Lions history. Why Lavar Arrington says his induction to the College Hall of Fame means more to him than a spot in the Pro Football Hall of Fame would. More Nittany Game Week after this.
Impact Interview is sponsored by the Pocono Mountains, where small-town charm meets big adventures. Book your trip today by visiting PoconoMountains.com.
Oh, welcome back. Time for our Impact interview this week. Another former Nittany Lions star player, Lavar Arrington, was inducted earlier this month into the College Football Hall of Fame. He takes his place alongside 25 other legends that wore the blue and white. The Pittsburgh native, a two-time All-American linebacker, won both the Butkus and Bednarik Awards in 1999. He played 7 seasons in the NFL with 3 Pro Bowl selections and earned All-Pro honors 2 times. We could go on and on with the accolades, Lavar, but thanks for being with us. We really appreciate it.
Appreciate you having me on. I see I'm rescuing you from the company that you're keeping right now. But you know what? Hopefully, I can make this part of the show good for you.
Look, it's been a whirlwind
right.
for you this fall. Honored at halftime of the Penn State-Ohio State game at Beaver Stadium. Of course, the National Football Foundation dinner in Vegas. Really fascinating what you said about why the College Hall of Fame induction means so much to you personally. Please share that with our viewers and let us know what it's like for your family to see you take your place with the great players in not only Penn State history, but also college football.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like college football, at least the old college football, really it really nurtured and embraced community to a level that was truly amazing for at least my experience and my development. I ultimately said I enjoyed making it into the College Football Hall of Fame more so than even the NFL Hall of Fame, for the simple fact that I felt like I would be a man without a nation if I went into the NFL Hall of Fame. I don't think I'll make it into the NFL Hall of Fame, nor do I really have a care for it. But what has always meant the most to me has been my school and my ties to the Penn State community. So when I was able to find out that was an honor that I was made a part of, it was truly exciting for what it represented.
During your recruiting, you originally wanted the number 10 and even sketched a drawing of yourself as number 10. But Tika's Pettigrew had the number already. So how did you arrive at the number of 11? And would you have worn number 11 in the NFL if the jersey rules were the same then as they are now?
Yeah, I wore 11 in practice, and so that was pretty cool. I certainly would have wore 11 if we were allowed to wear 11. I did want to be number 10 because I wanted to be like Derrick Brooks. That was him and Ray Lewis were my favorite linebackers outside of Greg Lloyd. And I didn't want to wear 95. I thought it was an ugly number, but it worked. It worked with G. Lloyd. But recruiting was interesting. Like little things like your jersey number played a part in if you wanted to go to a school, what the jerseys looked like and stuff like that. I wanted to wear number 10. Tikas was a high recruit, super high profile recruit. So Tom Bradley did his best job of trying to salvage the situation, and he came up with some good schmack. It was good. It was along the lines of, why not be the first you? Like, it wasn't, Tikas is wearing the number, and he's a high-profile recruit, may outperform you, so it's his number. He's got it. You'd have to wait for it. It was more or less like, yeah, be the first you. And so I started thinking about it. I went for it. I went for it, and so what I did was I just started thinking about numbers, looking up numbers, meanings of numbers, what was really appealing to me.
Hey, Lavar, during the recruiting process, your mother and father were exceptional people. You often talked about what an inspiration your father was to you at that time. How much of an impact were your parents on you, not only growing up, but also as you become a husband and father?
Yeah, I mean, you start to realize all of the lessons that they've instilled in you growing up. As a parent now, it doesn't always seem like they're kind of absorbing what it is that you're giving them. So I couldn't even imagine what it would be like being a coach for as long as Joe was. And as I've delved into the coaching world, just the principal values that my parents instilled in me. You just got to be patient. You got to be steadfast and hope that even when it doesn't seem like they're listening to what you have to say, that it's getting in there. And maybe hopefully at some point it starts to show itself. So that's kind of like, for me, kind of everybody who's held that type of role in my life where they influenced me from that perspective of an authoritative figure. My parents did a great job of putting that foundation in place, and I've never needed parents. I've never needed replacement parents. I've never needed parental guidance from anyone else. I've always had my mother and my father. I've had a man in my life that's the son of a man, that's the son of a man, that's the son of a man. And I have a mother that taught me what it's like to understand how to be a gentleman and what chivalry represents and being respectful, and just understanding the value of handling things in a responsible manner. It wasn't always like that, but it certainly played a major part in me getting through college, and it played a major part in me getting through the pros.
College Football Hall of Famer Lavar Arrington, thrilled to have him as our Impact interview guest this week. We're going to step aside for a TV break. Of course, we have more to discuss with one of the members of Stick City. We will continue our interview, so if you want to see the entire conversation, make sure you go to NittanyGameWeek.com. We continue to honor the memory of one of the all-time Nittany Lion legends, Franco Harris. When we come back, we'll finish our show this week with our Pride Picks, and all of them will feature the former Penn State running back and NFL Hall of Famer. We're heading into the final minutes on Nittany Game Week. In addition to a television show, we're bringing Nittany Lions together with our depth chart at NittanyGameWeek.com. We're connecting businesses that support the show with our viewers. Our goal is to build a team that keeps our hometown strong. And the depth chart is one of the many reasons to visit our website, NittanyGameWeek.com. You can check out all of this year's Impact interviews, consume our web-exclusive content, and watch past episodes. We have a lot to share with you when it comes to college football. We finish the show, as we usually do, with our Pride Picks, only this time we show our love and pride for one of the true Nittany Lions legends, Franco Harris, who passed away at age 72 earlier this week. For Jay and Tom, I'm Todd. Thanks so much for watching Nittany Game Week. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays, everyone. We'll see you next time.